We are back to another episode of the Trainwell podcast, where we inspire you to move more, to get stronger, and have fun with a smile. Boy, we have an absolute treat for you today. And why is that such a treat? Because we have the Matty Maggiacomo on the Trainwell podcast, talking all things fitness, and even goes deep in a little bit of psychology or even motivation. And let me tell you about Matty. He's a Peloton strength, walking, running, stretching, and meditation instructor, known for his upbeat personality, his humor, and his encouraging coaching style. He's extremely emotionally intelligent. Before joining Peloton, he worked as a television producer and performer, and it really helped him experience that life-changing motivation that people need, that story-driven approach that he gives to his members and his clients. So stay tuned. You're going to hear even his Mount Rushmore of the most influential people in his life. So stay tuned.
Okay, everyone, we're so excited to have Matty Maggiacomo here today on the Trainwell podcast. It's just a regular day for Matty, but it's Matty Maggiacomo Day for us, so we're like super excited. Have you guys seen Empire Records? Have you ever watched that movie?
Of course.
It's Rex Manning Day for me. Sexy Rexy.
I love that reference. Certainly the kids have not. They don't know. They do not. Gen Z does not know Empire Records. Oh, it's one of my favorite films ever.
And you
Great
know what?
cast.
I have to say, I did show Empire Records to a younger millennial who had never watched it. And I have to say, I was like, ooh, I think you needed to be a teen to watch this, actually, because it didn't hit quite the same. But Rex Manning Day will always hit for me.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know who Empire Theater Stadium is.
Oh, come on, Joey.
No.
Get yourself educated. You probably have to find it on DVD or VHS. No, it's got to be streaming. Where was it streaming, Darian?
No, I actually think I had an old DVD of it.
Wow.
Yeah. We watched
Major.
it on DVD.
It was a seminal, Liv Tyler, Renee Zellweger. Great cast.
Oh my God, great. It was phenomenal. High recommend, but just remember that you'll have to go back into your teen days to really get the vibe. But
It's not as good as Dawson's Creek. No way.
well, it's a different vibe.
Different vibe.
TV versus movie, you can't really compare the two, but it's definitely 90s, iconic 90s.
Yeah.
You can.
There's an effort, and it's probably still happening to adapt it into a musical, which I think actually would be a great film to be adapted into a musical.
You would. That's brilliant. I feel like that's so up your alley too because of your theater background, and we want to talk about that actually.
Cool.
So, but first, let's kick things off the usual way we do with give us a cherry and a pit. Could be from today, a high point of your day so far, and a low point, or from the week. Just what's your cherry and pit, or the month, whatever.
Ooh, I have to say, my cherry is we exist in this fitness universe, and there's so many different sources of inspiration. And one of my sources is one of my best friends, and she's been my longtime trainer, even before I was with Peloton. And she was away for a little while, and she's finally back. And I got to train with her this morning. Speaking of arms, Joey, we did arms today. And this woman, her name's Marcela Maloskovich. I've been working with her forever. She's Brazilian. She's a goddess. And she's back training with me, or I'm back training with her. And so that is my cherry, I got to tell you. And then my pit is probably, my beautiful rescue pit bull Nana is the best dog in the world. However, when it's hot like this, the girl does not like to walk. And I am on the street over here on Central Park, and, I walk her with a prong collar, which is already people feel a certain way about it. But the reason why I walk her with a prong collar is because she doesn't move. And I'm wrestling with this 70-pound dog. I'm like, come on, Nana. Anyway, I dragged her down the street, literally, and almost wasn't going to be set up in time for this podcast because she just would not move. She's 70 pounds of muscle.
Wild. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. At least it's not as hot as it was because you were in that crazy heat wave too, right?
Major.
Whew.
major.
we're-
Woof.
we were
Woof. Thank
sweating.
God it's not like that. I turned my AC unit is right here, but I turned it off because it's going to make noise for the podcast.
Yes.
Matty, wait, you have a trainer. That is so cool. Like trainers have trainers. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, Joey, because it's just like some days, if I'm going to keep my imagination and for example, like earlier I was programming, I want that programming to go to the members. I want that programming to go to everyone else. And then I'd rather be inspired. I learned so much from her. So it's really great. Like there's so much of what I implement into my programming comes from, the folks I look up to, the folks who have been doing it even longer than I have.
It's always helpful to have someone have a different perspective.
For sure. Everybody's got a mentor.
Everybody's got their mentor. So listeners, the best in the world have the best in the world training them. Keep that in mind.
Awesome. So let's dive in. So we did want to talk about, you already brought up theater earlier. I kind of want to hear your story. You started in theater, you started in performance, and then how did you make your way into fitness? Like how did that, because I also, actually, fun fact, I studied theater. I have my major in theater, but I knew quickly, fitness is calling to me. So I want to hear what that looked like for you, what that path looked like.
Yeah, I love that. The caveat is actually theater has always just been such a hobby. I never did it professionally. I went to school for television. I went to school for journalism. And then I kind of double majored in dramatic literature. I really loved Shakespeare, but never really had my sights on. I was kind of very realistic of how I could sing, how I could dance, but I loved it so much. And I ended up in television and realized that television was also kind of a rat race. I was in local news for a really long time. By the time Peloton and the opportunity sort of presented itself, I realized that all of these things that I learned and I loved, both from TV, from journalism, from theater, could play into this job. And, I got to tell you guys, I say this a lot when people interview me. I have the best job in the world. I really have a job that I always say it's like the nexus of everything that I ever kind of planned and wanted to do. And then it also involves my hobbies and the things that I nerd out about. And I'm able to authentically weave them into a 10-minute arms class or a 30-minute walking class or a 45-minute boot camp. It's kind of a great thing. Like I can get up there, I can tell stories, I can play Broadway show tunes. I can maybe even, tell a story about reporting the news when I was a 20-something-year-old. It's a really, really fun thing.
So Maddie, in your 20-minute arms class this morning, you immediately made me start laughing. And I think laughter is like the remedy for everything. But here, you can't, we don't do video yet, but you did this like thing for the warm up. And I never do that movement, but I turned to my side, my whole team's mind just, and then you said something like, your mom, this is like straight out of like aerobics. Like your mom would do this in the studio and you were a little kid watching that. So instantly I just started laughing.
Yeah.
And I just remembered like from the get-go, like I'm hooked on the workout. And that's what you bring to them. And you must have used theater to bring that, how you can emotionally connect with people. And it's not just fitness, it's the relationship, right?
Totally.
So talk to us about that. Like how do you blend that in?
Yeah, right. I mean, God, don't we just have all those images from our childhood, especially when we think about our journey with fitness? I always think about my mom, and I was raised in Rhode Island. I think about, it was the big box Gold's Gym. It was probably a franchise, whatever, in Smithfield, Rhode Island, right by like Bryant University for the folks that know Rhode Island. And my mom would kind of set me up with like my coloring books outside of the aerobics room. And this is when step aerobics was really, really popular. And then we were just kind of starting to see Schwinn bikes, like spin was really just catching on. So like, again, we're talking the 90s, right? And I don't know, I just have that image and remembering that. I was like, I don't know how this, whatever I'm observing, is going to play into my life, but I think it's going to play into my life somehow. And it was me at, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old, observing the women who would honestly become my future clients and Peloton members and Trainwell community. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it's the coolest. It's the coolest. It sounds like you had such a positive start with fitness. Was it always positive for you? Because, there's the unfortunate side of fitness is there's a lot of shame at times or predatory, really preying on people's insecurities. So, like, was it always positive for you? And how do you bring that positivity in this space that is not always totally positive?
Sure. I would say if we were to lump together sports and fitness, then I would definitely have a Jekyll and Hyde story for both of those. I would say because of the competition element to sports, because of feeling like I was very different, I was very other, I was a young gay and closeted gay kid in sports, felt like I didn't really belong, and therefore that actually really stunted my ability to compete and love it, right? Because I was like, I wasn't able to be myself, and so I just didn't practice basketball, and I just didn't allow myself to fall in love with, my dad would have loved me to be a baseball, to really get into baseball and be competitive. And so when I tell the story of like this entree into it, because of course for most folks, the first fitness they ever do is on team sports and on rec league and whatever, I always felt that something just wasn't right. As I grew up, and I discovered fitness and really truly packaged in the form of, run club or anything that was more clubby, more come as you are, boutique fitness. That's where it all turned around for me. I said, I can be fit and it doesn't have to be competitive. I can do this not to just win. So really, it was once I realized that fitness could be for me, and it didn't necessarily have to be about winning. It didn't necessarily have to be about getting a title or a trophy. Then that's really where things really started to be an aha moment.
I love that.
We have the similar story with our dads. My dad, I quit baseball and it just dropped him to the floor, I love what you said there. It stopped at, you realize you don't have to win all the time, because most people experience that where they have to compete with other people or compare themselves to other people. It has to be a competition. And so I'm curious about when you discovered this first step of, okay, I can be fit, I can help others. What was the next step? Did you have a one big changing lives moment as a coach where you said, this is the path for me, this is the career for me?
Yeah, I think it had to be once I had to take the jump, right? I had to see, am I any good at it, right? And I think the addiction happened once I realized that, if I were to tap it back to those kind of performance days, it's oh, wow, this is kind of like a performance. And they're really listening to what I have to say. And oh my God, they're really hanging on every word. And this would have been sort of my early boutique fitness days when I was training at Barry's, as was one of the founding instructors at Barry's Chelsea. It was the first time that Barry's boot camp kind of came to New York City. I didn't know anything. I was but I think I can do this. I think I have the right look. I think I communicate really well. Obviously, I've been working on my body. We can do this. I learned so much in those early years. And I was so bad. I sucked so bad. I was I remember sitting there being God, I can't wait till I get to the point where I'm really an expert at this. And it's true what they say. Right? Just the more you practice and the more you do it, you just get at those miles on the car. You just tread. And then eventually I was okay, nope. This is the thing for me. This is what I can't believe it. Again, the kid that dropped off the cross country team and didn't make it onto the JV basketball team. I'm okay, I am actually making fitness my career, and a pretty full career at that.
Yeah. Talk about a career. So you end up at Peloton, which is incredible. And I think what's exciting, because I do want to talk about this partnership we have with Peloton, but I want to hear, how do you end up at Peloton? And then I really want to talk about your role in this partnership with Trainwell, because I think it's so special. So tell us how you got from Barry's to where you are now at Peloton.
Sure. It was an interesting time. It was definitely pre-pandemic, and it was definitely at a time where the brand recognition of Peloton did not yet exist. When I was explaining to the folks around me in my friend circles and family circles, like what this job opportunity was. It was like, huh? I don't know. There was a lot of that. Like, is this going to take off? Is this something that people want? How is this possible? None of Peloton could have existed until it was so technology driven, right? Pre-Peloton, like the streaming technology wasn't where it was at. Even this, right, us being on this, software that we're using to create this podcast, like it never could have happened unless we were on a literal telephone line with somebody recording it. So it was an interesting time. And I heard that Peloton was going to introduce a tread into their line of products, into their hardware. I was like, ooh, that was very exciting. I have taken my fair share of cycling classes and spin classes, but it was never like my thing. I like to run. And once I found out that was happening, I was like, let me at him. Let me get in there. Cody and I were pretty good friends. Obviously, everybody knew who Robin was. Robin would come and take my classes. And like a good, hustler, I was like, hey, can you guys see me? Like, I'll, what do you want me to do? Like, I'll juggle, I'll spit fire. We can, like, whatever you want. And Robin auditioned me. I went in there. And the truth was, because I was getting so much of that, oh, I don't know, is this you're happy there? Like, do you want to shake it up? It was just like everybody says when it comes to jobs, right? You always get the job that you're, I could go either way, right? Like, maybe it'd be great if I get the offer, but if I don't, I'm not going to be heartbroken. And after like 10 meetings, I was like, by the time I get to the I was like, oh yeah, okay, I got this job. Like, I went in for that audition. I was like, I slayed that audition. Like, to get the response out of Robin, who, has very high standards, that I did. I was like, oh, I think I did pretty good. This feels like I might get this. And then it kind of dragged on for like, God, I don't know. The interview process was long, not as long as it is now. I said, if I auditioned for Peloton today, I bet you I probably would not get the job. Thank God I got in when I did. And it was really exciting. It was really exciting to try something new. And then it was really exciting, obviously, to watch how popular the company became and how crucial it came and it existed for folks during the pandemic, for sure. I mean, I would say we get a lot of love from folks. It's so nice. It's so nice to be validated. I think about like, my father who was in insurance and my friends who are accountants who certainly don't hear, oh my God, you changed my life, or oh my God, I love what you do every single day. They don't hear that. I'm like, oh my God, I get to hear this all the time. But I would say that top remark is always, you saved me during COVID. You saved my life. I said, well, are you sure? Are you sure? And I know you saved my life. I was like, well, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot.
That's, the fact that you say that, because of this partnership, which we're going to talk about, I've had the privilege to talk to a number of Peloton members and hear their story with Peloton. And it's that. It's literally exactly that. People telling me, I'll call them to just ask them a simple question and get some feedback. And they'd say, let me tell you my story with Peloton. And I love listening to it. It's heartwarming. It's personal. It's relatable. I'm like, thank you. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like, are we friends now? Like, you shared your life story with me. People love Peloton. And I think that's why I'm so excited that Trainwell has the opportunity to partner with Peloton and bring personalized, customized one-on-one training to Peloton members. And Matty, you were a big part of helping us hire the Peloton personal trainers that we hired. And
they're awesome.
Yeah, they're incredible. So I would love to hear from you. Like, first, what excites you about this partnership?
It's truly, first off, kudos to all of you on that team, because I remember sitting in our first meeting, I was so impressed. We get a lot of folks coming through that door that want to essentially tell us what they do, and lots of pitches for partnerships. And many of them are half-baked and like, okay, this just looks like somebody who wants to, kind of latch on and kind of ride our coattails. This is a very different, very cool thing, because what you all are doing is you've kind of recognized in the market, especially, and we've heard this a lot at the very beginning of the year. 2026 was like the year we were going to start to reintroduce analog ways of doing things. And that includes everything has a bubble. Everything reaches a kind of like full tilt, right? And, a ton of apps, a ton of streaming apps, a ton of gadgets. I think what is being addressed is the very human need for human touch. Yes, of course, understanding that we do have to use technology in order to communicate, but Peloton has gotten to a point where, again, we have this huge member base. And if I were to go into my DMs right now and actually kind of filter through, you'd be actually really surprised to see how many messages are specifically, "Hey, Matty, this is my fitness goal. Can you tell me which 5 classes to take so I can achieve that fitness goal?" Oh my God. If I see it, I try and answer it as best as I can. However, you answer one and, oh no, then there are 20 more waiting in there. There are 200 more waiting behind that. So this fills the need and puts a face on the Peloton content in addition to ours, with somebody who understands what our content is, understands the trainers, understands our vision, our values. And that's when we were sort of interviewing the Trainwell Peloton partners. Those trainers, they're amazing, because what I loved is they all have the same Peloton spirit. They truly believe in the brand, but they also have their own expertise that makes them unique, and they bring something new to the table. And that's it's sort of, the way that we were reviewing these profiles. It was really, I was so impressed. I was just so impressed. And I was like, okay, I really am so confident in kind of handing over the torch to these folks, because I know that they'll be in really good hands. And, they're going to create relationships with the Peloton members in ways that we just simply don't have the bandwidth, because we're not clones,
Yeah.
You mentioned values there. The second you said values, Matty, my ears perked up. And I pulled out there human connection. Human connection is everything. Personalization is everything. So I want to talk about the values you see in Peloton, and our values at Trainwell. Obviously, build consistency, build strength, be more confident, stay active for years to come, longevity. How does that resonate with your values, with Peloton's values?
Well, it's everything. It's everything. We, obviously we got to throw around these buzzwords, right? They actually do mean things, wellness specifically. We've moved so far from the 10-minute abs or get ripped quick. And it's so, there's so much more heart in it. And that's what I love about Trainwell. There's so much more heart in it. And I think, again, just like I talked about that bubble, folks are getting really smart around the AI of it all, right? We're like, okay, we know where, I think in our heart of hearts, now that we see what it kind of does, I think we know where we should apply it and where we shouldn't apply it. And that human connection is just, it ain't ever gonna happen. It ain't ever gonna happen. There's a lot of range of stories of folks who, have created these bots that are supposed to be human, but they're not. It's not a free thinker. It's an algorithm. It's not going to challenge you. It's going to just tell you what you want to hear. And so if we were to employ an AI bot to fitness routines, I would suspect that it would not be all that creative or help you achieve fitness goals. You really do need another breathing, living person on the other line with a heart and with experience that can't be gathered, accumulated data, right? It has to be a real person. And so thank God for Trainwell. How fun.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Honestly, it really does make a difference. And I think the Peloton members, they take your classes, and it's not one-on-one, but they feel one-on-one. They're watching their favorite instructors. They're watching you, Matty, and they feel connected to you, and they feel connected to the people that are on that tread right along with them, that are doing your upper body workout right along with them. And I think the addition of Trainwell is you actually get to talk to a trainer, build that connection who's also part of the Peloton community. And they're able to give Matty's 20-minute walk, but they're also able to give a customized strength plan because maybe someone has an injury, they can't do overhead, and they need to know how to modify that. And it just is such an exciting partnership for me. And with that said, and our focus on like making progress, being consistent, feeling the best in your body, what advice would you give to Peloton members or anyone listening who wants to begin today? Okay, I'm starting my fitness routine today. What should I do? How should I start?
I love this question because the answer is just start, right? It's like, I'm not going to sit here and reinvent the wheel. Just try it. You gotta go outside and go for that walk. You gotta, if you do have the app, you gotta get down and take that beginner class, whether it be a 5-minute beginner core. You gotta just get on your elbows and do a forearm plank for 60 seconds, truly, and you build from there. You certainly don't have to go sign up for the hardest boot camp that, is offered. You get out there and you move. And then really, I guess, be present and reflect on how it makes you feel. Even, if I'm going to be really woo-woo about it, like, write about it. Reflect on, like, what did you experience? Did you hate it? And, be honest with you. Did you hate it? Chances are you're probably going to hate it. Anything that's worth something is going to be, you really have to work for it. So just start. It's like, I like the, you hear it a lot. What are the 10 steps to becoming a runner? Do you know the answer?
Get the steps in action.
So what are the 10 steps to becoming a runner? Do you know what they are?
First steps.
Right, left, right, left, right,
I love
left,
it.
right, left.
Tell
right,
that to
left.
Darian because she needs to be a runner.
I've tried to be I ran track. I'll just tell you quickly. I ran track when I was a teen, and it gave me a horrible relationship with running, and I keep trying to get back into it. And now I got to take one of your running classes. Honestly, I avoid it. I take the walking.
Try it. That's fine. And you know what, Darian? Like you're in the majority. And when people are like, "Oh, I don't love that." Listen, if you hate it and you've tried it, like, you don't have to force yourself to do it. There are so many ways to move your body. I say, you can swim, you can skate, you can ski, you can do fencing, you can play basketball, you can jog, you can do cartwheels, you can do circus arts. Like, there are so many ways to stay fit. If you're starting out new, try them all. Chances are there's going to be something that you love. And then to add the community aspect to it is another secret that folks like me didn't know at the very beginning. I thought anything that was done in a group had to be a team that was doing something competitive. And then once I realized sort of the Peloton of it all, right? The Peloton is that group of, yes, they are in competition, but the group of bikes. We have Central Park right here. It's so fun to go out there on the main road at like 6 a.m. because those men and women, they get out on those bikes really early because the road needs to be pretty clear. They're going so fast and they are all moving as one, and you can hear it as, like, you don't even see them. You can hear them around the corner. The community of it all is such an awesome thing. And specifically when it came to group fitness, I was like, oh, I just love being with other people kind of doing the same thing. So you might not like doing bicep curls alone, but maybe you try and you go to a strength class that, has a few people in it. You might not like to do yoga one-on-one, but maybe you actually like to do it with 10 people, 40 people, 100 people.
First of all, who doesn't like doing bicep curls alone, Matty? Nobody. You said nobody ever.
You and the reflection in the mirror.
You said, just like you did with Peloton, how you just jumped. There were a lot of doubt on, like, is this going to take off? Is this not going to take off? But you just committed to it. Like, that's what we all need to do. You just need to do that first step, And this kind of ties into motivation and versus discipline and whatnot, because a lot of people are just waiting for the stars to align before they move, before they act. And so talk to us about, like, do you think motivation's overrated? Do you think discipline's overrated? Where do you guide people on that?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it helps to have trusted sources of motivation, and we talk about mentors, and find those folks out there who are clearly very disciplined. They stand out. And you're like, wow.
Totally.
And you know what? Sometimes I even make fun of them. But I'm like, wow, that person. Everybody's disciplined in a different way. We all have some of it, right? Otherwise, we'd never get out of bed. But I look at some of my colleagues, I'm like, wow, that meal prep, that is so good. I am incapable of that. But that's something to really aspire to, Wow, those workouts, I've never seen them miss a workout. It's good to have those bellwethers. Motivation-wise, same thing. You just got to find the folks who really speak your language, because the chances are not everybody will speak to you. And that's sort of the beauty of Peloton and of Trainwell. There's a human on the other line looking at you on that screen, or actually are IRL, who they may not be exactly like you, but you might share the same sense of humor. You might share the same background. Maybe maybe we all kind of, once had a similar job or whatever. It's just that commonality. And I know the people that, like, I share some kind of commonality with, they're the ones that inspire me the most, for sure.
You were talking about, kind of how everyone does it a little differently. Some people are really big into the meal prep and they're doing that, to a T, and you're like, that's not me. That's fine. So, but there are a lot of people out there who are probably listening, who are probably getting into exercise, maybe for a reason that isn't totally coming from a place of love, self-love, confidence, who are maybe feeling pretty down about their body or how they're feeling, or in a negative mental headspace at the moment. What are you saying to those people? Because you can tell you come from a place of love when you move your body. How do you get that across to others? What do you tell people who are feeling down right now?
Sure. I say this in class a lot. You need to start from a place of love, even if it is literally you in the mirror in the morning, looking at yourself, whether you're in your underwear or covered up in a muumuu, I don't care. And you just say, like, you know what? I love you. I love this body. Because anything else, if you're like, oh, I hate this belly fat, or oh, I hate the way that I hold my body, or I hate these stretch marks, you're starting at a deficit. There's no crawling back from that. Now, I will say that even I have to remind myself of that. So this is like that advice, and I love to ask this question to people, especially to all of the real talking heads, the Mel Robbins of the world, the Jay Shettys. Like, if I had one question for all these folks, like, what is the advice that you give that you have a hard time remembering to apply to yourself? And I'm sure you both have answers for that. It's a good question, because it's calling yourself on your own bullshit. You're just like, that said, I'm committed to the notion of every day looking at myself in the mirror, because I still see that little fat kid playing video games. No matter. I'm 41, and I mean, like, I still got my abs and I still got my banging biceps, right? But nope. There are just, the brain wants to do a tricky little, sneaky little thing. And I think you'll hear that from a lot of folks who have undergone some kind of body transformation, whether it was pregnancy or going through menopause, or guys who just, were the star athlete, the jock, and then gained a ton of weight when they had kids or got married. Sometimes you always see that, like, what you would say, quote unquote, that worst version of yourself. And you gotta say that's all the mind playing a really crazy, mean trick on you. Nope. I love you. I love you. I love exactly who you are and what skin you're in, looking back at me right now in this moment. And, oh, you want to get a little better? Okay, great. Let's jump on that track. Let's take that class. I bet you in 30 minutes, I'm going to feel a lot different than I do right now.
Absolutely.
He has incredible emotional intelligence, doesn't he? You get a A++++ in
emotional. You're talking to the person.
But there's always, I've heard this from the top, like even the top of the top, like even Michael Phelps to even like the Bill Gates, right? there's always that voice, like that little devil in your head, no matter how successful you are, no matter where you've been, that always tries to chirp in your little ear, hey, what about, you're not good enough, or the imposter syndrome, right?
Call it my gremlin.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's a great practice you should name that little demon, that little voice. Name it, Joey.
Mine's my little Darian.
See?
No,
No.
you can't use that, Joey. Not cool.
Call it a little Joey.
Yeah.
No, we all have it. And I say, and I will, I don't know, can I swear on this podcast? I will say,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, you little, and because that voice will look for any little, it's like the worst little, it's like that little mosquito. You might have the entire house, the windows are shut, the air conditioner, like how the hell did that mosquito get in? And that's what that little voice likes to find. And it really feeds off of your weakest moments.
Yeah.
It really feeds it loves to get in there. It like you're vulnerable. There it is. Always saying things, talking shit.
Mine's going to be the mosquito, the little.
I love the Italian word for mosquito is zanzari.
So, okay. I used to tell people, I wonder what you think of this, because this is what I always say. It's not about how you look. It's not about how you look, because I have looked, I've talked about on the podcast my journey with disordered eating, body image issues, obsessive exercise issues. And there were times where I was like the leanest, the lightest I've ever been, that I felt the absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was never about how I looked. It was about how I felt. It was about how I talked to myself. It was about how I thought. It was always a mind game. It was always in the mind. And that sounds like what you're saying. No matter what body you're in, size, shape, whatever it is, you can start from a place of love, or even just neutrality. Even just, this is my body. This is my body. There's no judgment there. And I love that. That's something I love that you really do bring to your classes and to Peloton members and the Peloton community. And I'm curious, where does your confidence now come from? Like, even if you have that little voice that sneaks in, where do you get your esteem? Where do you build that confidence from?
Sure. Yeah, you have to get yourself to a place of knowing. You're like, it's just like manifesting. Again, more buzzwords, bleh, right? But it really is a place of knowing. And I think, Darian, it does come, depending on the age group that's listening to this podcast, you'll hear, I'm going to sound like old Grampy. It does come with a little bit of age. You have to have a lot of experiences in order to get yourself to a place. And I, again, like at 40, I'm like, oh, there is a place of knowing that, you know what, this is, everything is going exactly to plan. We like to say like, oh, what if everything goes wrong? No, like what if everything goes right? And when it comes to fitness journey, like you have to understand that you have the power. There are so many stories out there. If you need inspiration, you have the power to turn it all around right now. You could start right now. I know it sounds a little cliche and fitness meme-y, but there's a reason why we kind of hang on to a lot of that advice, because it is actually true. We could probably go through the tropes, right? But I think we would be able to call bullshit on some of them, but a lot of them are very, very true. You just have to enter into a place of knowing. You have to be your own biggest fan.
Yes.
You have to have your own. I think and I look at my, they're like the fitness Avengers. I mean, my colleagues, and they're my friends, and like, wow. You want to talk about comparing yourself to people? Holy moly. Like if I sat and tried to compare myself to these other 50 superheroes, like I would be talk about not getting out of bed. I would be a basket case. You have to turn it around. You have to be like, those people are friggin' awesome. I want to be friggin' awesome too. And so let's just be like, you know what? I'm part of this group and I belong here. And I'm going to do awesome things as well. And that's the real special sauce. So it doesn't matter what pool of who your peers are or who you're sort of on that journey with. And this can be like any career, any job. You just have to know that you belong and you're bringing something to the table. You really have to step into that knowing.
Gosh, that takes so many reps after reps after reps and deliberate practice. You can't just do it once and then be like, oh, no. I'm done.
Nope.
Maddie, with this, because you said it, like you have this pressure of being this fitness figure, a prominent fitness figure, and like being really shined on for interacting with your members during a live class, or because people are always watching, especially these high-level instructors, or as you said, these Avengers. So how have you dealt with any burnout you've had, or how have you dealt around that pressure of comparing, or OCD, obsessive comparison disorder, right? How do you navigate those challenges?
You have to get back to yourself. You have to take that vacation. You have to take that walk. We all know when we're at our limit, and it's important that you're giving back to yourself. Now, I will say, I am a tried and true Taurus. That's my zodiac sign. I love a bubble bath. I love luxury. So I am certainly not a type of person who wants to ever go without. I work really hard, but I make sure that I spend, whether it be time or money, on my own personal luxury so that I do not get burnt out. And honestly, you got to be a little selfish sometimes. I know that's really hard to accept, but we say this all the time. Self-care isn't selfish. There's another one of those great fitness memes, but it's really true. And we say this in classes all the time. We've been saying this for years. Like, it's the same deal as you get on every single plane and you watch that info video, and it's the adult putting the oxygen mask on themselves first and then putting it on the child. And that is what you have to do. If you're not spending the time to go for that walk, go for that run, or take that 30-minute class, or take that yoga class, or do Pilates, whatever, because you're labeling that as, oh, no, that's selfish, then guess what? You're going to burn out way faster, and you're not going to be able to be a good mom or a good partner or a good friend, because you're just going to be a shell of the person that is trying to give back and provide. So you got to put that oxygen mask on yourself first.
That's a great point, because I'm sure there are people listening thinking, but I just don't have the time. I have so many responsibilities. I have so many obligations. I always like to say there aren't excuses, there are reasons, because these are legitimate reasons. You have maybe old aging parents to take care of. Maybe you have kids, pets, your house, whatever it may be. We all have these things. So if someone's coming to you and they're saying, okay, but I really don't have the time, what do you tell them? What do you say? What class should they take, or what exercise should they do? What do you say to get started?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you're a very scheduled person, you have to schedule it like a meeting. I'm sorry, even if it's only 30 minutes, you just have to. You just have to. There's no way around it. You can't leave it up to chance. And I will often say it's important to do it as early in the day as possible. The day gets loud. I'm working on my first novel right now, and I apply the same thing to my kind of fitness journey, as I know that if I absolutely don't want to miss my workout, I got to get it in first thing, even if it means if that the alarm goes off at 4:30, 5 a.m. And I've been doing this a lot with my writing. I was here literally hours ago at 5:30 sitting here writing, because I know that if by the time, please, 240 rolls around, it's just not happen. It's just not going to happen, So do it as early as you can. But I understand, like, give yourself a little bit of grace. I get it. Like, I think about my mom, and I think about, folks who sort of are in this in between of, like, they're taking care of their kids still, and then also have aging parents. It's sort of this like sandwich. I get it. Like, there's so much responsibility that you're carrying, but please take the time, because it's just the alternative is that you just kind of, there's no longevity in any of that. You just are going to give up at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Please listen to this man.
Yeah.
Give this man a promotion.
Let's bring it up.
You've seen so many stories and so many experiences that this is pure gold that I don't think people realize, because countless time after time, you've solved these problems for these people. So please listen to this, man. This goes to what Darren was saying earlier, is like people will come in with a lot of overwhelm. There's so much information out there. By the way, I hope we're giving you questions that nobody else has asked you, but I seriously doubt that. But where do they start? Matty, where do they start? Like, you can go in ChatGPT and that's an expert. You can go on YouTube and this person says this. You can go to wherever. How do you guide them, a beginner, to where they even should start? What's their filter, so to speak?
It's important to vet a trusted resource. Again, I know this is like a very common theme here because, yeah, I mean, even if you were to like pop onto ChatGPT, I'm sure it'll give you, but again, you want to use a credible resource like Trainwell, like Peloton. I know that might sound like a really big plug, but we've kind of done the work for you, right? So there's a place for you if you're a beginner. There's a place for you if you're not quite a beginner, but maybe you do a lot of walking, but you want to become a runner, or maybe you're coming back from injury. I think do the appropriate research. Don't use it as an excuse. Remember, you're starting today. I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. I haven't done all my research yet. But partner that with understanding that you don't know everything yet, but we're gonna move, and we're also gonna like learn along the way. It's definitely a journey. A lot of folks will use every excuse in the book to just not do it. So yeah, I would say vet your resources and truly just jump in. You got to jump in.
Okay, if everyone's down for it, I would love to do some fun rapid fire questions to close out this episode.
I want to go first.
We love.
Okay, Joey wants to go first. Go ahead, Joey.
Okay, Matty, because you brought up some important figures and mentors in your life.
Okay.
Who's in your Mount Rushmore, so to speak? Like, who are your top figures in life? Go.
Oprah. Stephen Colbert. I'm going to say, this isn't being very rapid fire, but you can edit some of these. I'm going to say
Yosef.
Joey and Derry. I need two more. I want them to be really thoughtful. Okay. My favorite author belongs there. James McBride. Folks may not know who he is, but he's amazing. And then I have to throw in, because I'm a theater kid, I have to throw in Stephen Sondheim.
Those were good.
A little bit of everything.
I think that was worthy of taking the time. Okay, now this one is just like, I personally am like so interested to know, what was your most embarrassing class moment when you were leading a class?
Very funny. There have been quite a few. I mean, I like to create the embarrassing moments, to be honest with you. I like to manufacture the embarrassing moments. I love a costume and I love a character. And so I am really a fan of cringe comedy. If you think of like Meg Stalter, it's kind of really hot right now, but not everybody gets it. So I would say there are probably maybe two. Well, one I didn't manufacture. The other one I did. For Halloween, this past Halloween, I like went as this like literally the opposite of who I am. So I taught my Halloween class and I was calling him Matty Sadams. He was very like Addams Family. And we did all grayscale makeup with this like crazy bob. And all I did was whine on the tread. Oh, and it was so, to me, you guys, this was the funniest thing. And the people who share my humor were like, this is so funny. Oh my God. And then I read the Reddit comments.
Oh, no.
And they were like, cancel Peloton. What is this? What am I even watching? This is crazy. And I was gagging. I was laughing so hard because the truth is like, this is a great, oh my God. I can't believe I didn't put Cher on my Mount Rushmore, but it's okay. Cher is not to be set in stone. She's living forever. She's not stone. Anyway, but Cher, there's a great Cher quote, and the Cher quote is like, you have to take a risk of looking like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. You gotta, if you don't have those cringe moments to look back at 10 years down the line, even a year down the line, then you've not grown, right? So you have to have those cringe moments, because otherwise there's no other. If you just think you are the shit from the start, and then you're like, wow, I was really good back then. No, I don't think you're doing it right. You're not growing. And the other one that I would say is, my God, I mean, you want to talk bathroom humor. I mean, I fully peed myself on that. But I love a Dunkin' Iced. I love an extra large Dunkin' Iced. And sometimes in the summer, I drink that before I teach a class. And I was like, oh, thank God I was real sweaty, because I am fully peeing down my leg.
Oh my God. I love
Did you break the treadmill, or is it okay?
Thankfully, it wasn't that much. It was absorbed by my Lululemon.
I have so many more follow-up questions, but by the way, cringe moments, you should just watch our bloopers. Oh, it's so bad what I say. Darren's like, what did you just say?
I get nervous when Joey even opens his mouth every time. You don't even know. I'm like, ooh.
We've come a long way. It's again, our generation now, there's a camera everywhere. It was a lot like stranger when, our parents were coming up and whatnot, because like they saw a camera and it was immediate lobotomy. They're like, what do we
do? What is
say? At least now we're used to it. We're like, okay, at any given point, we know that we're being filmed. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, I'm growing. All right, here's one. What's a secret fitness trend that you love? You secretly love. It may not be good for everybody, but you love it. You may have told other people not to do it, but you still do it.
That's a good one. I would say secret that I love. This is, because I'm a Taurus and I like to buy things. I definitely, I want people to be smart with their money. But like, there's nothing like showing up at the gym looking super hot in your new clothes. So like, I actually like, I don't think that you should still be working out in the shorts that you had when you were on the basketball team in college. Like, I think you should like try and look great in the gym. It makes me work out better. I don't know. Is that like really superficial? I want to look hot. I want to look hot in the gym.
It gives you confidence. I mean, do you, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
When my like women clients would come to me in a session, right, and they would have a new outfit on, I knew that I was making success, and I knew that was helping them feel better.
Yes.
And that was a win. I'm running with that all day long.
Absolutely. But but Matty, who was being very like Miss America here, would say like, it doesn't matter. Again, just start. Just start. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. But you know what? If you pick out that sports bra that fits you really good, or those leggings that you feel really good in, honestly, chances are you're going to actually have a better workout. I hear people talk about their sneakers that way. They're like, I bought a new pair of sneakers. I'm running faster now because I have a new pair of sneakers. Hey, listen, if it's working, if it's placebo effect in your brain and it's working, go for it. Buy as many sneakers as you want.
100%.
It works. Okay, here's what I want to end on. Now, I don't know if there's anything you haven't told people because you're like an open book, but is there anything that people would be surprised to learn about you?
Ooh, okay. Something just came up the other day. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, everybody's like, Matty's such a nice guy. I am so chronically, God, I hate it. I end up having this phone so close. When I text, I am so self-righteous in the fact that I'm like, if you don't answer my text in like within the 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour, like I think less of you. I'm immediate. People text me, I text them right back. If you don't text me back, I'm like, what are they doing? Why would they not answer my text? I answer back right away.
Do you have the red thing on?
Person?
Do you have the red thing on?
I do have read receipts on.
Yeah, I do.
I think I do have read receipts on. All I know is that somebody texts me. I'm not that person who has, like the little icon and it says like, you have 1,375 unread emails, or you have, for me, it's a game. I want that to say 0.
Same.
And then text messages, I have 3 text messages that came in within the past 45 minutes we've been chatting, and I will answer them back as soon as we're off.
I admire
Pretty
that
good.
so much. I'm the same way. I cannot see a badge. It gives me anxiety. I'm like, we need to
Nope.
clear it.
Clear it. I have a little to-do list in my notes app. Like, I get the reward that I feel, the endorphins, that little high that I get from just, I'm checking it off.
I am the same. We got to have a checkbox.
Yep.
We got to have a strike through.
Yep.
I will add things to my to-do list so I can cross them off.
Just cross it off. Feels good.
It feels
Feels
so
good. It's like a high. It's a real good high, right?
It's basically like doing a workout. That
Exactly.
dopamine hit. It's the same. Just crossing off your list. It's the
Yeah.
same.
This
Maddie,
was a high. This was a
This
major high having
was
you on, Maddie. Thank you.
incredible. Thank you so much, not just for doing this podcast, but for being a part of this partnership in a really real way, because we hired some badass trainers. Like truly, we hired the best of the best for this Trainwell
true.
Peloton partnership.
It's true.
There's no one better.
It's
Truly.
true. And we're so excited for it. And it's been such an honor to be a part of it. It does bring me back to that first audition at Peloton. There's a benefit to it's mutually beneficial, because I also know that like the folks that you have working with you at Trainwell, this is a great resume builder. Obviously, they're doing it for so much more than that, but I see so much of that young spirit that I sort of had since I'm Grampy Matty over here. It's a pretty awesome thing, and you've got some real stars in that bunch.
Thank you.
Maddie, please come back. Please bring all your friends
I
back.
shall.
We bring your Mount Rushmore with us.
Absolutely. Let's see if Oprah's available.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for listening to our episode with Matty Maggiacomo. We were so privileged to have him on the Trainwell podcast. He shared so many amazing tips and tricks and just how to get started and just do it, essentially. Just get started. Incredible to hear, very inspiring. If you'd like to check out Trainwell and get your very own personal trainer, go ahead and check the show notes for 14 days, totally free.
We love you all so much. We will talk to you folks next time. Bye-bye.